It's Layo again, and I'm always happy whenever I am here to introduce new topics with new guests, with fine faces, and especially when the topic is given and the faces with me in the studio is also given, and then my face is also given, guys. Today's topic is New Year resolution, but before we go into New Year resolution, because you don't know what my New Year resolution is gonna be all about, so let me introduce these beautiful faces, guys. So when you turn to my left hand side, we have Benita.
Hi.
And then when you turn to my right hand side, we have Izini. I mean, they are both giving. Look at the skin.
Hello.
I mean, see the faces now. Is it Benita's face? Is it Izini's face? I mean, these girls, their skin is giving. God, I am glowing as well because I am giving as well. Yeah, so like I said earlier, the topic of today's discussion is New Year resolution. I mean, that rings a bell. New Year resolution. So, what is New Year resolution? What is your take on New Year resolution? What did they think? And then we'll get to know what their New Year resolution is going to be all about, because New Year is not something. It's like New Year is not something people usually be like, okay, it's a New Year. Although most people are actually into that. It is New Year. Are we just saying New Year? I mean, we've been experiencing so many New Year, and then it's just the same. You get, so many people are not. It is not giving them. There's no ginger about it again. If it was to be before, hey, New Year, Happy New Year. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if you wish some people New Year if you wish some people New Year now, yeah, they'll be like, I wish it was the same. I mean, they're just dead about it. So, but that is not the topic of discussion today. Our topic of discussion is New Year resolution and what your take is all about. So, Benita, what's up?
Okay, so on my own perspective,
Alright.
the way I see New Year resolution, it speaks more about we bringing about a change which has never happened in the past.
Okay.
We standing firm on doing something that has never happened. So, for example, now, before I enter a new year, I have to pen down whatever I want to achieve in the
Alright.
forthcoming year. So there are some certain things I have to put into consideration. There are so many factors I have to consider. That is when I have penned down whatever I want to achieve, whatever goal I feel that will benefit me and to a large extent people around me.
Okay.
So for example, I am a student
Alright.
basically. So the paramount thing I should be thinking about now is me achieving my goals as a journalist, which I am. So when I pen down some certain things, I have to also reflect back at what that thing is going to fetch me,
Alright.
something like that. So when I pen down, because I have a flair for writing, and I know to generate income when I develop myself more on it. When I speak to people who I feel know or have a better experience in that field. So when I pen down some certain things, I have to look beyond what I am seeing now. I have to look into the future. Things like that. So that's the way I see New Year resolution.
Thank you so much, Benita. Okay, Izine, what's your take on New Year resolution?
Okay. I think New Year resolution is like promising yourself a decision that someone makes, like for the new year. Like now, before you start up a year, you have planned what you want to do. Like for some people it works for them, for some it doesn't work. Like me, it doesn't work for me. And you've planned saving for this year, like you've planned saving 200, 400,000 and so on, and some other things. Maybe you've planned for this year that you are going to start up a business, or you are going to start up something. So before you plan New Year resolution, you have to list it out. You have to jot it down. Like you have to jot them down to know what your plans are for the year. That is what I have.
Alright, thank you so much. Izine, clearly, New Year resolution work for some people and it doesn't work for some people. Regardless of whether you're the type of person that New Year resolution works with or it doesn't work with. Whether you've been making plans here that I want to save throughout this year, and then it doesn't work out for me. Whether the plan works out or it does not work out, it is still a New Year resolution. Yeah,
Yes.
it is still a New Year resolution because you've made decisions that okay, saving is not for me, so I'm not going to save. Throughout this year, I'm not saving. Throughout my life, I'm never saving. That is that is one decision that you've made.
Yeah.
And then I've decided to save. Saving doesn't work for me because I don't know how to save. Saving is a very good thing, yeah. It takes a whole lot of discipline. So I feel like it is a dope thing to actually try and save. There's one thing about decision making. So have you ever made any New Year resolution before?
No, I haven't.
Why haven't you made one?
Well, a New Year resolution for me it's more like a culture. There's some
Okay.
people who love to like see to do so many things which they haven't done before. So I won't put myself in that position because I haven't actually made one before in the past. But I could take up that a challenge. It could be a challenge. I could take up the challenge of making one for myself.
Alright, thank you, Brenda. So, isn't it? Have you ever made any New Year resolutions, for regardless of whether it works for you or not? Have you had any past experience?
Yeah. There was, let me say, last year.
How did it turn out?
Okay, so I bought a very big book. Like, I wrote down the things I'm going to do for that year. Like, example, saving. I said I was going to be saving, 20k every month. You get. So at a point, I actually saved up to 61st. At a point, I got tired. Like
What
when
is
I
the money for?
like I was spending it too. I was spending it like maybe I come across something that I like. I'll search no money and I don't want to ask for money from somebody.
And you think
Yeah.
it is, and you think making that resolution is not just your thing, or you don't think there should be something that you should actually bring out as a tool that should help that New Year resolution to come to stay, like discipline or something?
No, so I just said, oh, I will do this. Let me just save. Like, let me see. I want to have like 400k in my account. That was my decision for last year, but rich.
You're not rich.
You know, rich.
That's the
before-
first time you'll be making that resolution.
Yes, that was my first time of doing that. But
And it didn't go well.
Yes.
And since then, you don't want to try it again.
No, yeah, I didn't. But the actual thing that worked for me was okay. Maybe as the year is ending, like you want to enter the new year, you decide, oh, I want to change some sets of friends, and I want to change some things about me, maybe your character and everything. I think that one actually worked for me because me, I'm not the friend type. I don't really like having friends, but once I see that, oh, this person that I'm following is not my type, I just avoid you. You get that kind of thing. So that was the thing that worked for me. That was the only one that worked for me though.
Alright, thank you so much, Benita. Alright, so what do you guys think about those people that actually make New Year resolutions? What do you guys think about them? Do you think they are the smart type of people, or do you think they are not the smart type of persons?
Well, I won't say they're smart. I won't say they're not smart. They actually want a change. They want a change. So let me take for instance now. A man's finances or probably a man's business isn't going as it ought to go. So let's say he needs to now make a decision which could then peradventure change that situation for him and probably his family. So it's then left to him to take up that decision, to take up that challenge, to improve his business and also to an extent get more money, which could help the family financially, help the family materially, and also help the family financially and materially, basically.
Alright, thank you so much. So, isn't it? What do you think about those people who actually make this New Year resolution? Are these the smart type of persons to you, or they are not the smart type of persons?
I think they are smart though. I think so. Because at times when I see, like, I have this friend of mine, when I talk to the guy, he's always saying, isn't it, you need to list out things that you need for this year, and I think it's actually worked for him. Like, the guy is kind of will I say smart, brilliant. I just love his kind of person. So I think at times I get, will I say, jealous, or I don't really know what to say, but I think it's a smart type of thing.
Okay,
I think so.
Smart decision.
Yes.
So, in a family setting, how can New Year resolution make a family setting a standard family?
Well, like judging from the facts, the example
You
I
just
made use of,
stated.
yes, yes. So, first, it could improve the standard of living of the family if, peradventure, their finances is nowhere. Probably their present finances cannot take care of their basic needs. It cannot see to their the sponsoring of the children's education. It still can't see to the fact that they cannot have a food on the table. So I feel the New Year resolution, will possibly help that family to like boost their standard of living to where it ought to be, which will be favorable. And
They're
then-
smart enough to know that they should make
Yes,
a New Year
yes,
resolution.
yes.
Thank you so much, Benita. All right, guys, thank you so much for staying with us on this one. Don't go nowhere. We're going on a short break. We'll be right back. So, why do you think New Year resolution fails? Why do you think those people who actually make them don't make it up to what they've actually prepared their mind to get at the end game?
Okay, for instance, of course, most of the time I love making use of illustrations to drive home my point. Okay, a businessman really wants to get this latest car. He actually has considered the amount of money in his bank account, but still he made that decision that actually this is the kind of car I should be driving this year. So I think why that resolution might peradventure fail, maybe because of the lack of the money which is not present for that car, the unavailability of funds to buy that car. And also why a new resolution might peradventure fail could be because of the habit of not going on with whatever you have said you will do. That is, before one can make a New Year resolution, one has to do away with most habits, a lot of habits. That is nonchalant attitudes to achieving a particular goal. And also another point why a new resolution may fail, or probably why a new resolution will fail, it could be because one may lose interest in the long run. Okay, he has achieved to buy this car. He has already said he was going to buy this car. He made the decision that I'm going to buy this car. And then on the long run, he has then evaluated or examined the amount of money he has in his bank account. And then on the long run, he will then lose interest totally. So that New Year resolution will then fail. It won't be actualized.
Thank you so much, Benita. I mean, that was a beautiful point. All right, isn't it? Why do you think New Year resolution fails?
Okay. Like say procrastination. Maybe you've schedule yourself for the new year, that this is what I'm going to do, and you want to jot it down. You want to write down what you want to do for that year. Maybe you say today you say tomorrow you say next tomorrow, like that. You just forget about that.
Everything
Yes,
that you
everything
planned.
about it. Secondly, lack of determination.
All right, thank you so much, Izin. I mean, that was a beautiful one. Procrastination, then lack of determination, then the awesome point from Benita as well. I mean, if you check all these things, procrastination can also put setback or can bring about setback in your New Year resolution. The lack of determination can also bring about setback in your New Year resolution. Then it's like, God, I am just not serious with my life. Because every time I'm meaning to take a step forward, I am like this, I am like that. All right, let's talk about academic expectations now. I mean, it's a new session. I mean, children or students rather are back in school as well as called off strikes, and those people that didn't even go on strikes at all, like private institutions and all that. It's a new term, a new semester rather. And then I'm like, okay, this semester I want to work on my GP. I want 3 points something. I want 4 points, and then at the long run, it's like, no, this thing is not possible. I am getting 2 points or 1 point. Then what do you think such students should actually put to consideration
Okay.
in working on their academic expectations?
First, he has to be focused on
Okay.
his studies first, because it's the habit of being focused that could generalize or could bring out the fact that he can then get that GDP. So one, focus, and then he should do away with a lot of friends, because there are some friends who could possibly hinder the fact that he wants to get a particular GDP that his parents will be proud of. You get. So one, he has to be focused on his studies. Secondly, he has to do away with some friends who could be sending negative vibes.
Right.
Yeah. And then thirdly, he has to if probably he has been reading for just like an hour, probably 30 minutes. He hasn't been like spending so much time reading. He has to like make like, he has to spread that time frame to probably 2 hours, 3 hours in order to get to read more and then be ahead of class as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, is it there?
My own opinion, I think a good student or someone that's been lacking behind before should build up his or her reading ability. Like if you are the student that you don't like reading before, like you have not been reading, you have not been taking your studies serious,
Seriously.
you have to just start reading. Maybe any topic that was taught for that day, you try to read it up to make it up. Like maybe you didn't make it up in the other semester, for this semester you have to read and to make up your this thing. And secondly, going to the library, researching and all of that. Yeah. And like she said, your friends determine whom you are. You get, maybe you've watched around the class, you've checked people and you've known the kind of people they are, and you know the kind of friends you keep. Maybe you are admiring one classmate of yours. Okay, that person is kind of intelligent or something, like you can just mingle with that person. Not like you
People
want
that
to
could help
yes,
you
yes, people,
academically.
yes, something like that. When it comes to play, yeah, you can play, but there are
Stick
limits.
to the
Yeah,
code,
yes.
stick to the business code. Know
Yeah.
why you want your GDP to be very, 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 very high.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, isn't it? I mean, that was awesome, and I'm pretty sure you guys are actually learning right now from this particular topic, New Year resolution. I don't know what your New Year resolution is, whatever it is you are. I don't even know if you've given up on making New Year resolutions. I don't know if you still want to make it, but honestly, if you're thinking of having a New Year resolution or making a New Year resolution, it is a good thing. Guys, do you agree with me that New Year resolution is not for everyone? Do you agree with me that it's
Yeah.
not for everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
But if your mind is set to it, yeah,
If you're determined.
it is okay to actually go on with it. In fact, it helps you to be a determined person. It helps you to keep to your time frame. Like, okay, I want to be punctual throughout this year. I don't want to go anywhere late. I want to be punctual to school, at work, at church. I just want to be there on time. I mean, that is one New Year resolution. Everything doesn't have to be monetary.
Yeah.
It could be your time. It could be your attitude that you want to work on. As I said it earlier, it could be your brain. Okay, I want to work on my brain this year. I just want to wake up every day. I want to always wake up 7 o'clock. Then my sleeping time is 7 o'clock. I mean, it will give your brain enough time to relax, enough time to rest. Then I want to start reading. I want to do this one. I want to do that one. All right, guys. Thank you so much for that one. We're going on a short break, and don't go nowhere. Stay with us, guys. Alright, so guys, have you ever made New Year resolution for churches before? Like, okay, this year or from now till so time, I just want to be frequent in church. I just want to go to church very early. I just want to take Sunday school seriously this year or this season. I just want to walk between myself and God this year. Have you guys ever done that before?
Yeah, I have. I won't say I have been this kind of person who has really had interest in church, but looking back at the times I didn't really have interest in going to church, my mom actually is somebody who had always encouraged us generally to be going to church. And then this year I saw myself going to Bible study. I actually made that decision, going to Bible study every Wednesdays, and then Sundays I make a decision not to just miss service, because when you're in church, you kind of get exposed to what the Bible is all about. Okay, yes, we have to read the Bible on our own, but I feel when you're in church, when you're in that environment, when you listen to teachings regarding the Bible, you get exposed to some certain things you haven't. Yes, get to know more about some certain things you haven't known before. So, going to church frequently enhances one spiritually, and then going for Bible study too enhances one spiritually.
All right, thank you so much, Brenda. All right, Izine, have you ever made that decision? Okay, this year or so season, I just want to take Sunday school, Bible study, or church services in general. I want to take them seriously. Have you ever done that?
Actually, no, I've not. my own side, I don't really like Sunday school. I just see it as something that is boring, because when I go to church, I think I'm going there to sleep.
Okay.
I'm
Church
going,
in general.
yes, I'm
Alright.
going there to sleep. But the, like, let me say what I actually like in some, like, house fellowship.
Okay.
I actually like going to house fellowship, like maybe for all this deliverance stuff,
Okay.
and you know,
Where you see them say, "Oh,
yes,
oh."
those kind of
So
things.
those things interest you.
Yes,
Like
I
it's
just
fun.
I find it very very interesting,
Okay.
and I also like, you know, the pastor bringing me out or pointing, you, this is going to happen, or you have this, you have you are going to be rich, you are going to go to,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
those kind
You
of
like
things.
the
And
prophetic
yes,
part of services.
yes, that is
Okay.
just what I like. And there was this house fellowship I was going to,
Alright.
like it was my neighbor that do force me to go
To
to.
go there.
Yes, because I sometimes share some things with her.
With her.
So she asked me to go to that place. The first time I went, the man told me something that, like, I was seeing that thing, and he said something related to that stuff. I was like, I was happy. Like the man was like, you will go to America, something, you go to US, that your husband, like by December,
Okay,
you
it
see,
gave you a whole
yes,
lot of
like,
messages, and
yeah,
then
that,
you liked them.
like that stuff, only that story itself
Only
make me
ginger you as in that will give
so
you.
and I said, okay, I'll make out time every Sunday in the evening that I'll start going
Going to his church.
yes, but I went back, I sat there, I said, are you sure this man is saying is true? I beg, just
Okay, what if he's just saying so that you can just start
Yes.
attending his church?
so I just stopped going to the this thing, you get.
Alright, I mean, so have you now made a decision to, like, okay, the things I don't used to like about church, have you sat down to, like, think about them? Okay, I don't like this thing about church. Have you thought about it? Because most times, yeah, we don't like most things about church. It's not because of
Yeah.
who we are, but because
Yeah.
of what that church is.
Yeah.
Most time it is not because we are bad, or it's not because but maybe your spirit is indirectly telling you something is wrong somewhere, and
Yeah.
then you just need to change. Have you ever sat down to ask yourself that question? Is something wrong with me, or something is wrong with this church?
Yes, like, okay, let me say, when I was in the East, because I came to Lagos 2020. When I was in the East, there was this particular church my uncle liked forcing us to go to. That church, I just disliked the church. Like, at times you'll be in the church, Holy Spirit will just carry the woman. She go come anywhere every day, she will just carry you. The way she will knock you on the floor. And secondly, she will not tell you, if you are a virgin, stand up. Virgins don't stand up. You know, that kind of thing will make you, next time you say, wait till I won't go this church. And if you are not a virgin, you'll be looking at yourself, God, why did I do this thing, or why did I
Okay, it's like
you know,
the church is like putting you in the box,
yeah,
like making your sin. Let me
Yeah.
use that word, making your sin and
oh,
hope your
very- oh,
sin.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like you will not see some young girls, all of
Yeah,
them
they
will
stand up with
and only you
flaunting
go
in their
come
glory.
sit down.
And you, the
just
sinner.
you be like share my own sin big.
Now you big like
And they will
this.
not, and maybe they want to pray for someone, they'll say, all virgins come out and pray for you, that you are not a virgin, sit back, like that kind of thing. I just said, okay, that time it was because of my uncle that I do go to that church. For me, I don't dey carry my mind go that church. I'll just go sit down, look. If they are doing anything that is maybe that will make me laugh, I will laugh. And
Alright.
after church, I'll go to my house.
All right, thank you so much, isn't it? But my question is, have you? I mean, this is a discussion segment, and not an interrogation section.
Yeah.
But then what? We just want people to actually learn here from a particular point here that might be of interest to listeners. So, have you sat down to, like, think of, okay, find your own church? Like, okay, this church works for me, because apparently every places or everywhere cannot be the same.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to find a you somewhere. So have you sat down to, like, find yourself in a particular church, or find your own type of church?
Yeah.
You have.
Yes,
Alright.
you know, when I was growing up, my grandmom is a cherubim and seraphim
Okay.
person, and I do follow her to the church.
No wonder she has this specific likeness for prophecy. Whoa.
So I do follow her to church. So, you know, I just love the church. I just like the church, and I think they are spiritual. Like, anything they are doing, they are, if like, let me say, if you are sick or suffering from something, I think they will help
Okay,
you.
God helps them to be able
Yes,
to help people.
yes, and
Alright.
I think their spiritual stuff is like, will I say, okay, let me see now, you are in your period, like in that church, when you
Yeah.
are in your period, you don't enter the church, like I
Okay.
think they are more, let's say,
They
pure.
tend to be pure, or
Yes,
they tend to take
that,
purity
yes,
seriously.
I just love
So
that.
that you found that one to be like your kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes,
All right,
I
thank you
just,
so much.
yeah.
So whenever you're at home now, and then you're like, it's time for service, or you just hear that same church that you mentioned, yeah, or they are doing service somewhere, and then it connects to your spirit, you find yourself wanting to go there, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. That's a good one. I mean, I was scared when I'm not a church person. Are you kidding me right now? All right, thank you so much. I mean, that was a beautiful one. I mean, it is okay to want to know if we've taken our New Year resolution about churches seriously. To the same way we are taking our day-to-day activities rather seriously. I mean, I want my academic expectation should be this, should be that, and then okay, my work, I want to always get to work very early. But when it comes to churches or church matter or church issues, people are always slacking and they're slagging, and then you'll be like, people that actually wake up very early at 5 o'clock in the morning to prepare. In fact, some people wake up as early as 4 o'clock to go to work. Then when it comes to church, that's when you see my sisters and my brothers sleeping 10 o'clock. I'll join 12 o'clock service. And that 12 o'clock service is just for 1 hour. And then yes, I mean, seriously? Not to judge. Yeah? But the question is, how do we take our New Year resolution seriously when it comes to churches, like when it comes to church issues, when it comes to God? Now, this is about church. This is about my relationship with God. Yeah, if it's personal, how do you take your relationship with God? Is it cordial? Like, if it is not cordial, how do you intend to work on it?
Okay, so for me to draw myself closer to God, I made the decision to find myself praying, because in the Bible they say pray without ceasing. You have to pray without ceasing. You always have to find yourself having a communion with God. You have to see yourself having a communication, so to say, with God. Because there are times I feel confused about what line or what path to go in life. So I feel having a communion with God or having a relationship with God will then open my eyes more, because the Holy Spirit is what grants a man enablement. He's the one who shows a man the path at which he should go. If he is going on the right path, on the wrong path, he will call one back, and then he will then redirect one to the right path.
Thank you so much. All right, isn't it? So what do you think about relationship with God as a New Year resolution?
Okay, let me say, for me, when, like, as at last year, I wrote down the things I'm going to do, like my relationship with God.
Okay.
I said, I wrote down some, like, fasting and prayer, the
Okay.
time I'm going to be having my fasting and
And
my
prayer.
prayers, and I made the decision of praying morning and night and reading my Bible.
All right, guys. I mean, that was a beautiful one from Benita, and then isn't it just so marvelously we're sharing our own personal experience with us on this beautiful show. All right, guys. I mean, I am Layo, tell me your host, but then I want to remind us that we should always take our New Year resolution seriously. Find out if it is your thing or if it is not your thing. But the fact that you think it is not your thing does not make it not your thing. Find out why it seems like it is not your thing. Honestly, planning is not a bad choice of decision. You should learn to plan, to work towards that your plan, so that you can know whether you're the type that procrastinate or you're not the type that actually procrastinate. Work hard on yourself, because that is what New Year resolution is all about. It helps you to work on yourself. It helps you to stick to timing. It helps you to stick to your decision. All right, guys, don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. And don't forget to turn on the notification button. And do not forget to keep watching Teens Perspective on Divine TV. Divine TV enriching souls through the gospel of Christ. Till I come your way next time. Stay safe and be good. Goodbye, guys.